Welcome guys again to our I don't know which or already seventh webinar this month. We are Habsida Coding School and I'm Vladi, the founder. And today together with me is one of our graduates, is full stack for front-end developer, actually. A front-end developer graduate, but he's also work right now, I guess, as a software engineer, Alexey. And we're gonna talk about how to choose IT jobs because we constantly getting asked like what should I choose, what should I choose, and we're gonna draw you not only what we are offering but also like the whole variety of IT jobs in Korea. We're gonna talk about today. We're gonna introduce ourselves. Torting draw us something here. Thank you for this. And then we're gonna talk about the coding, how to start the coding, and IT market in general. And as a foreigners, I'm a foreigner. Alexey is a foreigner. We're all foreigners. We also will tell you what you need to know, and also we later on in the end we're gonna tell you how online coding bootcamp can help, and we also have a special gift for you guys if you take your time on Saturday's evening. Okay. Without further ado, I will give the floor to our one of the best graduates, Alexey Shaldenkov. He'll introduce himself.
Yeah, hi all. My name is Alexey. I hope you can hear me well. I'm a software developer in R&D company in Seoul. So today I'll be one of the speakers, and I'm gonna tell you my story about how I was like employed in Seoul because I came here without working visa, so I had to get my E3 researcher visa. So that's gonna be a long story, and we can start with the next slide. Uh, so I was like 23 years old when I came to South Korea because my wife was something.
I'm mute.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I came like within some 23 years when I just graduated from Moscow University. I had engineering degree that was not computer science, so that was really hard to get something IT related. But luckily, I've graduated also from the uh, quality assurance engineer courses. So I had some like concept of IT team. I had internship in the one of the largest banks of CIS and Eastern Europe. So I had some basic experience in IT, but I was never coding before. Uh, anyway, that was QA, so I almost didn't work with code. That was manual testing. And when I came to Korea, I had like no idea what to do here. Firstly, I thought about working as an engineer to continue my career, but that was really hard due to language gap. I didn't know Korean. That was only a short trip. So it was really hard to communicate with Korean people, and I had no idea how to work here. And after that, I found like a message in the chat that some people in Korea are training foreigners to get employed here. So that was kind of luckily chance for me because that was the only message I've seen about this company in years. And I took this chance. I took it. I started studying for front-end developer. I was studying for half year, about 6 months, and it took me 3 more months to find my three authors, which was really good. I was studying for JavaScript and front-end developer with React, Next.js, etc. But anyway, there were like different courses. I already knew what I really needed because I already worked in a large company. So for me, it was like easier to decide why I want to be front end, not the back end. Why don't I want to study like AI, etc. And after graduating, it was just a matter of time when I'll find a job. I found three authors, as I said before. Two of them were, one of them was like full stack developer. The second was a front end, And the last one was kind of strange. It was software developer with C++ developing. I had really no experience here, but the company had Russian team, so they really welcomed me and said that they would help me with my new visa. So that's why I accepted the last offer, even though I don't know C++. But quick hint, you can learn it. Like when you already work, it's fine. Um, uh, so actually, I've already told about employment. You can go right to the
Okay.
next slide. Yeah, so our company is R&D company. We are developing medical equipment, medical software. We work with Russia, United States, with foreign companies like LG, etc. So we are just developing medical software, the prototypes, something new, and I have to do a lot of stuff with front end because every medical device needs a graphic interface to interact with it. It needs backend, so it's already software development with C++ and something with engineering in like CAMCAD programs, AutoCAD, SolidWorks, etc. So it's like a large variety, but after graduating, I understood that studying something new is much easier when you like know that you can learn. Previously, I was really afraid of coding because when I was a tester, I remind you that I didn't code at all. We used Java in the team, but I couldn't write a single string except like debugging console log. But after studying, it was much better because I understood that I can learn every language. They're all similar. It's just the matter of what language do you prefer to use. So we can
How
go
how
to
long how long did it take you to get, like get used to the new code base in your first company?
well. So that was like 3 months,
Three
and I
months.
could,
Okay.
yeah, with after the 3 months, I can like make a definite software already. And
Okay.
currently, I'm still learning because C++ is like it's not a half year to learn. It's really really big. So, but for something making some good results, 3 months is enough.
Did you have any imposter syndrome when you just joined the company?
Yeah, yeah. Of course, I had because that was really strange for me. In Korea, in South Korea, the salaries are like so big comparing to Russia and to different countries. So I was like afraid that I'll get such a big salary, but I can't offer something from my side because
Oh.
I didn't even know C++. It was really strange. I was prepared for front end developing, but they said like, don't worry, you can show yourself, just work for 3 months, and after that we'll talk if you have any problems, but there are no problems. So you will, anyway, in the IT field, I think everyone can uh, feel the imposter syndrome because it's just I don't know how to say because everyone can face it. It's just
Yes.
strange because you get you take a lot of money and you do not too much, but actually it's really much. You just think it's easy because you already started this path, you already finished learning something, and it becomes easy for you. But
It's
it's
just a
still
good
hard for
skill, I
other people.
guess, right? Good
Yeah,
skill,
right,
get
right.
paid, right? Okay, so it's not necessarily like hard. It's like useful, right? Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, coming first from my story, let's talk about the types of IT job. Previously, I worked with agile methodology in the bank. So every day we had a meetup. Every week, every month we had retrospective where we talked about what we achieved, who made impact, and that's how I learned about other opportunities in IT field. And as you can see, they are like mainly there are six types, but of course there are much more. It's backend developer, frontend, AI developer, the designer. Project is like project manager or uh, team leader and quality assurance engineer or tester. Let's speak first about the backend development because what is backend? When you want to do something like kind of website and you want to have some user authentication there, how how do you think they store your like user name and password? So it's the work of the backender who stores all the data, all the images, all the tables, everything the website needs. If he sets up the database and all the inner code which you can't see. So that's what backend developers do. They create the databases, architecture for the project, like internalization for different languages. There's different languages, not only Java. You can also be a backend developer, like C++ is also kind of backend developer. So it's really a big field for study. Front-end developer is like much simpler than the backend because it has the end to learn as I think because what you do here, the backend developer has set up the database. He put some information inside, and he said, "Hey, you can ask this IP address, and you will get the result." And what you need is to display this result, to make forms interactive, to display hints if the user forgot his password, to redirect him if he successfully logged in. So it's the matter of how you display the information for the user. You are not creating something like unique because you work closely with the backend and designer. Uh, so you just follow the mockup to display the data which backend developer sent to you. AI engineer is more like specific job because not every website needs AI. Usually it's not for websites, it's for some like more serious project. Uh, had some experience with AI because with my job, I had to train one AI model for detecting objects. It was like really interesting experience for me, but it was a lot of, it also gained a lot of pain. I didn't know much about AI and I had to follow a lot of guides on the internet. So it's one of the hardest parts of the IT because you need to learn a lot. You need probably also like good to be good. You need to be good at math because it uses usually linear algebra. So it uses your brain to fire. You need to study a lot, but also you will get much more profit with this one because like AI, it's one of the most popular things in the 2025. So it's hard and tough, but after you train some model, you can like train model to translate something, to find spam letters, to detect objects. It's it's really big sphere of interest. It has really big sphere of interest. So it's the matter of company to which you will be employed, what you will do, but you will train some kind of models. The designer is something much more simpler to explain because everything you see in the internet was designed somehow, like the PC, the mobile phone. The designer thinks about the user experience and user interface. What the user will think when he opens your project, which like image or color of the button you will use here. So it's kind of job of creative people because you need not also to handle with Figma and Photoshop, but also to have some creativity. I already knew that I was not a creative person, so it is hard for me to be a designer. Uh, but also that is one of the places where which get stuck in Korea because it requires you to communicate with the client all the time. You need to speak with your company, with the client, and that means that you need some Korean knowledge. Yeah, maybe like third bit. but that's still needed because you just need to communicate with other people to know what they want to see or what they want to design with your hand.
Or explain why you design it in this way, right?
Yeah, yeah,
As
right.
well. Yeah, I guess the designer, like one of the difficulty is that everybody has an opinion. That's why I need to talk more.
So you need to explain why this color is red or blue, and even if you explain, they might not understand, and they want to make it green, and you should explain why green is best here. So,
Yeah. I mean, long story, put it short. Okay. Next one.
so project, it's kind of rare in Korean companies because this is more for US or EU-based jobs. They still have project managers here because what is project manager is he's a man who define or woman who defines what needs to be done. So, for example, if there is a project manager in the team, he will be communicating with designer and with all the developers, talking with them what needs to be done for the client. So he speaks with clients and converts this like some kind of ideas to business tasks. And he tells you, hey, we need to implement like block functionality here. So we need to create articles, delete them, and backender will do this one. Designer needs to design some forms for that, etc., etc. So he's the one chain which is connected between IT team and the client, not to like uh, make a client heavy with developers, which are because sometimes the developer will make their speech too heavy with some IT terms. Why is it hard? Why can't you make it? The client usually don't want to know that. He just wants to have some functionality. And the project manager is the one who will explain to client what we can do, what we can't do, and to the team what should be done. Is the tester, quality assurance engineer, or you can call it however you want. It's like rare case in South Korea because usually Koreans don't use testing. They may use it in the large companies like Nevo or Kakao, but anyway, it's still like rare case to have a tester in a usual company because usually the software developers are debugging the code and it's fine. What you do here is you communicate with developers and you need to explain what is wrong. Like that if you already authenticated to your website, you shouldn't have the ability to authenticate second time. Or if you post some articles, like you shouldn't have more than 2,000 symbols or about security errors. So you just should find all these bugs, all these errors. Usually you do that with the help of checklists, small test cases. You create them for the project and you say, hey, this one is fine, this one is fine, this one is fine, this one is bad, and developers need to fix it. You create bug report and the developers handle it. So that's the job of testing. And
Why developers themselves cannot find these bugs?
usually when you look to your code, you think that it's beautiful, that everything works fine
Okay.
and you don't need to fix anything. So, and one more necessary like characteristic of the tester, you should be precise. You should want to find every bug. You should be like kind of perfectionist to think that everything should work great. There's like, if you find an error, you should find some more because nothing is perfect with the first release. About now, we've talked about each job, and let's say what is the advantages or disadvantages of each one. As you can see here, the first and the main like point for that is your interest, because if you are interested in the design or you are good at communication, of course, like you can select one of the jobs instantly. But the main target is your interest because if you know what you like, you will surely select this one. Speaking next is Korean language. As you already understood, the project managers and the designers and truly the testers, because they need to describe what's wrong. They need Korean language. They will need to speak with the client or with the company much more than like developers who sit in the laptops and just make their code. So
Just small question. That's for the tester. It's very important to know the language because they need to check the websites and so on. Or it's like doesn't really important.
well, actually, I didn't see many jobs as a tester in South Korea,
Okay.
and my company doesn't have one. So actually, I don't know. But as I saw, you actually must communicate with your team, and if it's Korean team, so that requires you Korean. If your team
Okay.
speaks English, it's fine. But if they speak only Korean, it's hard.
I just mean like sometimes the products, most of the products are in Korean. So it's, you also need to read, kind of.
Oh, actually, not sure about that because if you know that there is a login form, you don't need to
Okay.
read it. You
I
just
mean,
need
just
to put.
maybe some typos there in here.
Not sure
Okay.
about that. So once more is communication. It's like kind of close with Korean language because project managers and designers need to speak with the client, and usually they don't know much about the coding, the language, the programming languages. So it's easier for them just to speak and express the ideas easily. For the developers, it's much harder. But the main fix here for them is that they have like kind of clear steps to their future and the salary because you will clearly see the grades like junior, middle, senior, etc. For your developer career, it's much easier than to be like senior product manager. I don't know if senior project managers exist. Usually they convert to CEO or something like that. But for developers,
Nice.
the salary is good. So uh, you constantly learn something new, you learn more money, you learn something new, you earn more money. So it's much easier to understand and to have some benefits here. Once more, criteria is result. If you want to see the result instantly, usually it's the designer and the front-end developers who can see it like easily. Other people usually don't see, maybe product managers, just a little. Because AI engineers, backend engineers, testers, they don't see the result at all. So they see that everything works, but they don't see their code. They don't see the like full solutions there. It's just working and everything is fine. You get your money, but you don't see the result which you made. So it's one of the tough tasks for people. If you know that coding, looking to the code like 7 days a week is hard for you when you don't see the result. So you better select like front-end developer just to look at website or to the interfaces. The designer who usually speaks with someone and implement some new pages. So it would be much easier for you here. And the flexibility. So I, I think it's remote job flexibility
Yeah, yeah.
because yeah, the developers take advantage here as well because when you become senior developer, you can get hired not only in Korean company but also worldwide. So it's much easier because you don't need to communicate with client face to face like the project manager, etc. You can do your job remotely. So every coding job is perfectly scaling to remote job in the future. We can go to the next one. So when you decided to become IT related specialist, what the junior specialist needs to be needs to know. So it's some basic things, the core stack to make like minimum product MVP for your job. Like if you're a backend developer, you should be able to create some server, to set it up, to create remote APIs. The designer should be able to design the page or something else. So it's the core of your job, which you need to know. Uh, some new technologies is good, but usually they are not for junior developers. With junior developers, you do their core frameworks and libraries, so it would be fine. Using AI perfectly helps you to learn something new, because sometimes even if you don't know some kind of a framework for like front-end developer, you don't know all the frameworks. It's fine. No one knows everything, but using AI is necessary to quickly learn something new. Uh, that was my case, because without ChatGPT, I wouldn't be able to make my tasks in 3 months in C++. So,
Do you
uh,
use Cursor?
Cursor now, our company brought ChatGPT licenses, and
Ah,
they
okay.
asked us to use it
Uh-huh.
only. So they asked not to use other, because they have only this one.
Mhm.
And communications. Uh, One of the necessary skills in South Korea is your soft skills. You need to communicate with Korean, even if you are a developer. No matter how good you are at coding, you need to be favored by the company and HR to review. The main thing here is that you can clearly communicate with the interviewer. When you come to the interview, you don't speak a lot about tech stack or like your knowledges. They speak with you like with a person, and they want to know, are you open to some new opportunities, learning something new, how good you are at communication, etc. So they mostly look at your soft skills on the junior phase, because you don't actually have some uh, definite skills with hard coding. So it's much more important here to know the Nunchi culture when you are employing to Korean company. And knowing Korean is not necessary, but actually it helps a lot.
How is your
Uh,
Korean?
it was like second week when I was
Second level?
employing,
Okay.
second level, and now it's like sort of course.
Oh, really?
So,
Okay.
uh,
Nice.
continually growing.
Nice.
And one more thing is important, how not to lose motivation, especially if you are learning AI, because it takes a lot of time and it's kind of big pain to your head. You actually should remind yourself why you really need it, what you want to achieve here. So if you have a clear target, it's much easier to go there. But you shouldn't try to take everything in one step. You need to make it smaller. You need to go steps one by one, and make some small achievements, small wins. So you'll be able to see your progress. Actually, using community is also helpful, because sometimes when you're stuck, other people may help you or may give you a good idea. Uh, they may uh, like do some networking with you. They may say that you are like a good person, you do great, and that will help you really, really. Speaking with other people who can tell you some good words. It's not pointless. It's good for you to keep going. Uh, if you have some problems with the way you're studying, actually for me it was hard to make some theory, and only after that practice. So it was really painful to me. So even before trying to make some even before starting some new thing, I tried to make a practice task, and with that, I learned the theory. So it's the way which works for me, because it's too boring for me to learn theory, and after that, I forget it instantly. So for me, the practice is the best way to learn something new. And the last one is fixing scheduling, the following. it helps really. If you skip your learning for like 3 days, it you probably will skip the fourth and the fifth, etc. For me, it worked like 5 weekdays I was learning, and 2 weekends I had the day off, and only following this one I managed to finish it, because usually you become too lazy if you have 3, 4 day off. Even if you read some IT related articles, it's enough. You just should keep learning and keep going.
I guess this now my part. I briefly introduce myself. I am from St. Petersburg, Russia originally. I came to Korea 11 years ago. I graduated until postdoc back home. I also used to study as Master of Finance in Sangal University in Switzerland. Here in Korea, I graduated KAIST MBA, and then I worked for different entrepreneur, like startup related mentors activities. I am officially mentor of Nautilus Investment, and I am founder of the company 5 years ago. Almost already 5 years ago. In this October, we're gonna celebrate our 5th year anniversary, right? I personally found out that like even if you graduate good university, sometimes it's hard to build a career. Of course, I also work as a head of sales here, and it's hard work, right? Even though maybe sales is not my forte, I still manage to do it because that's where Korean people, Korean Korean company offer you to do, right? Also, a lot of my friends work as interpreters, right? Uh, Ponyok, Tonyoka, and they also hit selling pretty quickly. That's why we wanted to make a company that will teach you IT and then place you in Korean companies. Because I believe that Korea is one of the best starting points in the world right now, right? Nobody hiring that many juniors as Korea does, right? And because you don't need to, you need to have a technical skills, and we are proud that our graduates have very good technical skills for their level, of course, right? But mostly, you need the soft skills, and they trust you, and there's a lack of developers in Korea. That's why it's a big road ahead of you, and there's only actually specialty in Korea that you don't need a formal education in. That's why we already placed maybe more than 100 people, and current students are more than 200 people. Okay, let me go through what IT market in Korea, because we're not only educational company, we also do a lot of outsourcing. We did maybe more than 100 projects already. So if you think about it, like unicorn, this is where you want to go. It's like Coupang. Coupang used to hire a lot more Java developers, for example, right? Or like companies like Carrot, already unicorn, right? Tangen Market, and they do everything, right? If you go to this, they will do everything, like the CRM in-house, management system. For example, for some fintech companies, you cannot even go outside with the code, right? There's no Git, there's only internal, right? Because of security, right? So it's very good to work for them, but they are hiring actually like best of the bests, right? We also have a lot of conglomerates, right? Conglomerates in a okay, I will answer questions right in 10 minutes. So yeah. Meanwhile, you can post your questions, right? Conglomerates is like companies, big companies like Samsung, right? Every big companies have their subsidiary, IT subsidiary, right? Samsung IT, ICT or whatever, right? And they do, and all the Samsung and subsidiaries outsource big project to them. But they usually don't do it themselves. They hire in other companies, SMEs, agencies. Also, government supports startups, but they don't give startups money. Sometimes they give money, but sometimes they give it like money that they can use build something, right? That they can use on themselves, or like less extent on marketing, but they can use on agencies and sourcing companies. That's why in Korea, the market dominated by SMEs and agencies, outsourcing companies. Don't get me wrong, these agencies are not small. Some of them has like I don't know, 50 developers, right? But most of them has from 5 to 10 developers, right? Which is not also that small amount. And I think it's a very good opportunities for you guys, and some of our graduates work for them, right? Sometimes it's because you learn everything. You learn like different stacks, and you work with different companies on different projects. So sometimes, even though you work for a small company, you really doing project for Samsung, right? Which is also good for your resume as well. Okay, this roughly how it works. Also, like, let's say IT project, let's take big project, right? What kind of people would be there? Like, we talk around about already project managers, right? There's a three different style: project manager, product owner, right? Project has projects, products more like responsible for like product, right? Obviously, and product owner responsible for the whole business division, right? They're making similar tools. And manager and promoter go to product, product promoter go to owner, right? But they're still not engineering people. So sometimes in Korea they're struggling, like, to have a respect from engineering team, because it's called Team Jan, or like Keba Tam Tam Ja. It's like head of R&D, usually developer with the most number of years experience, or the oldest one, right? It still happens in Korea. For the backend, Java and C Sharp, C++ is by far popular, right? I think it's dominated the market because I give you a little bit of history. They're all like medium companies, small and medium companies created by somebody, most of them created by somebody from bigger companies, right? For example, they work in Samsung, they quit and make it their own company 10 years ago. And of course, they do it in Java because they used to do it in Java in Samsung, right? That's why there's a lot of like kind of, as we called, heavy like languages, right? Dominated the market is still. Node.js not that popular, and Python usually associated with data analyst, data engineering. Okay, we also have a DevOps. DevOps engineer is working with a server, right? It set up a server, whether it's cloud, most cases cloud server, sometimes it's a server within the company. We also have one, for example, in our office that we manage, right, for some clients. And yeah, it's a hard work. You need to work with the server, you need to work with the security, and it's very well paid. But in Korea also, we don't have separate, usually most companies don't have separate DevOps engineers. Usually senior backend developers are transferring to DevOps. They're also doing DevOps. For front end, it's simple. Everybody in the world uses JavaScript, and in Korea as well. I think React is by far the most popular, right? For mobile, it's very interesting. We have a native languages like Swift for iOS, and Android, like Java, or Kotlin for Android. And they're two different people, right? They're two different sets of languages, right? And they're pretty popular, right? Because a lot of companies want to do apps. I mean, several years ago, apps were way more popular than these days, but still, right? And if you think about it, like more and more companies will transfer their they transfer their websites into something like more like mobile view, mobile friendly, right? But these days the trend is so-called hybrid technologies, like Flutter, which is based on Rust, and React Native, which is based on JavaScript, getting popular. So you just write one set of code, and then you can be used both in Android and iOS. For the designer, it's very interesting. Korean people like to drop something names or without sometimes understanding, right? And everybody in Korea, almost everybody is called UX UI designer. Does it mean that UX actually means user experience, right? It's more like how you put the button, so it will be like intuitive, right? And to increase your conversion ratio, whatever, right? UI is more like how is it pleasant, the interface, and like how it meets your goals, and invigorate people to click, right? But in Korea, if you call UX UI designer, doesn't mean that you work on these things, right? Sometimes, most of the time, you need to work on everything. Sometimes you do business cards, sometimes you do graphic design, some posters, even presentations, right? So be ready. If you're a designer, you'll do a lot of things. However, these days is also getting popular some UX writer, right? So UX writer, and they are actually creating a text, right, for the templates, text for the future websites. Okay, graphic design is also actually combined with UX designer these days, right? But it's a different set of tools because UX designer mostly use Figma, and graphic designer use Photoshop and Illustrator, right? But on our course, we teach both. For testing, there's two types: manual tester and auto tester. Alexey, were you a manual tester mostly or auto tester?
Yeah, manual. I didn't know code, so I couldn't
Oh, okay.
write any auto
Manual
test.
tester is like checking it manually. For example, okay, what if I like quit without finishing registration? Will it save? Or for example, I try to repeat the order from the last order page, and usually it doesn't work because developer didn't think about it, right? And so like he's a like very meticulous guy, right? Actually, it's pretty cool to find a bug which nobody sees. It's pretty cool feeling, right? But most of them, I find it when I present to clients. There was no single presentation to client when I click something and everything worked. I guess, I guess that's everywhere, right? And Autotest sense, they also writes usually in Java and some other also in Python as well. Some small like small kind of instances, right? And where you can test the flow. Also for data science. Data science is hard to explain because there's so many jobs, right? And so many different names, right? The let's go from like less computer technical heavy to more computer technical heavy. Okay, prompt engineer, right? Prompt engineer is actually not really a scientist, right? Not really an engineer. What he does is like to work with the existing LMM, right? ChatGPT, let's say, right? And creates prompts that give the best results. But you'll be surprised that like maybe 99% of companies that claim they have AI that actually don't have their own AI, they use existing AI. And it's fine, no problem, right? And because this AI is powerful, right? And like why not to use ChatGPT for some? And you in most of the cases, even if they develop their own AI, ChatGPT performs better, right? So prompt engineers are pretty cool, right? But I guess just prompt engineering will be hard to find a job, right? But as an AI engineer, sometimes you'll do prompt engineering as well. There's also data analyst. It's more like business plus statistics, right? Rather than coding, right? So you will have a data and then you will need to organize and analyze it. For data scientists, it's like a hardcore, it's hardcore data science, hardcore AI engineer, right? It's basically you will work with the models, you will train the models, you will use the models to your advantage, but you need to understand the business as well. So a lot of people ask us like, if I have a different background, how would I do it? Because what is like a waste? If I've been in medical field, for example, or I've been in a like chemical field, actually it would be a plus because in data science, it's very important to know domain knowledge, right? For example, to understand how models should work, you need to research a lot about what you want to achieve, right? And for and if you have a background, let's say in medical field, it would be very beneficial for some companies. Of course, they do medical, right? Data engineer is a person to prepare the data for data analysis, right? Preparing data for training the model and so on, right? And ML engineer working with machine learning as well. So they're basically like not really clear distinction between them in the market, right? You can do both. And when people ask us about AI and future, we would say like data science will be very dominant because a lot of companies they right now don't have a developers or like never had a developers. They will have AI guy to improve the internal uh, like optimization, right? They improve the internal business processes, right? They basically will be like a prompt engineer slash coding because they will need to connect it different data. They need to understand how to connect, and this would be a very common profession. Okay, I just give you an example, right? When I used to looking for jobs, right? When I was like a sales related guy, right? I always looking for like something with Russian because I'm a Russian native speaker. And for example, I can find like 363 only positions, right? And there's like, I don't know, like maybe 100 to 250, 250,000 people speaking Russian in Korea, right? So it's very hard to find a good job, right? And it's usually short-lived. But let's say in UX UI is more than 2000, in Java more than 2000, and in AI it's like almost 6000 position right now. So it's very much in the demand still, even though like everybody in the world is pretty like crisis. Korea is also crisis, but still people are hiring because Korean companies do not outsource. Most of them do not outsource outside of Korea. Okay, let's talk about salaries, guys, right? Yeah, yeah. I guess you already know this because, for example, if you quit, for example, factory, or if you quit English teaching job, it doesn't necessarily even translate to more lucrative money, right? When you work in the office as a developer. But over time, you will get this money over time. Some of, yeah, the minimum salary that you can get is 28 million per year. Most of the our grads these days got from 30 to 32 and 35 and 6. Sometimes, or one case is he got 55. It was like very, very cool, right? But yeah, but after a year or two, you can transfer to middle and you already earn more than 40 million. And then you can actually find a job somewhere else. I will give example of our also another front-end developer who worked in a Korean company, and he was actually be promoted 2 times while he working, and he working only 1 year, and then he found a very good job in I want to say Dubai, right, remotely, and now he working remotely, getting paid very good money. Okay. Also, like why Korean will hire foreigners, right? Yes, of course, they're not look for foreigners, right? They just have no other options sometimes, right? Or especially smaller companies, they're struggling with the people always going to them and leaving after like 6 months, right? And the turnover is very high in this industry, right? That's why they are considering to hire more people, right? And good employees. They have nothing against you guys, right? And as you can see, there's a big shortage because of aging population. Yeah, as I said, like we did a lot of projects. That's why like, our graduates kind of a little bit more equipped with modern technologies. And we have more than 200 students, and yeah, we have accreditation. We're officially a company. We actually we're the only English teaching English on boot camp, coding boot camp. They teach in English that has certification accreditation. Okay, without this, yeah, I couldn't do it. Okay, our normal price is 550,000 won. We have 4 courses: design, front end, and back end, right? We also have AI, but AI is 12 months, but all other courses is 7 months. So this is 7 months price, right? One off. But we have our normal discounts, which usually around, which is usually available, right? So you can pay for 190,000 and two, it's roughly 3 million for 7 month course, right? And just for you guys, it's not until May 11. It's going to be until next Monday. Okay, the coming Monday, like 2 days, what it would be, June 30th, right? You can pay with a discount. 32% discount. We usually don't give it, but through webinar, we usually give, right? 30% discount. So you first month, you can only pay 375,000. You can drop anytime, right? After months. And for full course payment, it will be 2.6 million. For the AI course, if you want an AI course, you need to consult with the manager, and then he will also give you 32% discount or similar. Okay. Okay, now are we ready to answer questions, guys? Whether question about education or question about general IT knowledge.
Yeah, you was asked to skip to previous slide. Can you back
Yeah, but which
slide?
one? Okay, how about go for example,
Uh,
just ask question?
two more back. Two more back. It was just previously, probably with salary.
This one?
Let's see. Let's see.
Yeah, okay, okay. Okay,
So,
Yusuf John asked questions, right? What do you recommend if he has bachelor degrees of engineering and he want to try to get new skill like cybersecurity and network, and he's already in Korea? Is it important to get a diploma of top level education institution? What do you think, Alexey?
well, actually, I don't think that you need top level of diploma if you just want to get a job, except you machine learning, because it's just too hard to go from zero. But even if you already have bachelor's degree, especially in software development, it's already fine because usually you need your degree only for visa purposes or maybe to learn something especially hard to learn in other ways. But
Like research institutes, right?
maybe.
Yeah.
But I believe that cybersecurity can be learned without a master's degree, etc. So it's probably fine if you have software development degree. You can easily get a job.
Yeah, I would also not recommend network because it's a position that kind of ceasing to exist and there's never been very good strengths because everybody these days use pretty standard things and they use like because network is not a DevOps, it's more like a system engineer, right? And usually they're not really well common in Korea. And I never heard that anybody would hire for it, right? That's why if you have interest in this, you should pursue more like an AI career or backend, right? It will be more suitable. Cybersecurity is also not so many jobs. Okay, next one for from Aidana. Oh, actually, Melia raised a hand. Okay, you can of course ask the questions right now, or you feel free. Yeah,
Yeah, I will ask uh, directly if I allowed. Is it okay?
yeah. Please go.
Okay. So thank you for the session, Mr. Moon and Mr. Archie.
Okay, thank you.
I am very interested with the slide where you show the range of salary.
Okay, sure. I'll go back.
So you have the data from some other cities in South Korea, right? So you have Busan, Gyeonggi-do, and Daejeon,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah,
Ah, yeah,
yeah.
right.
It's right here.
Yeah. Is this for like general IT position, like every single IT position, or is this the range for specific
No,
IT
no,
position
general.
in general?
Yeah, it's not for management position. It's not for PMs, right? It's more for developers.
So I am very lucky to meet you in this session because I already work as data scientist in Busan.
Okay, very good.
So my range of salary is actually quite low compared to the data that you give. So I
Yeah, yeah,
wonder,
but
yeah,
please do not refer to us. Say like, why are you paying me so little salary? Bloody
no.
from Habsida say you need to pay me more.
No. I'm just trying to find out actually because I am just graduated from PhD program.
Okay.
So in this session, perhaps if I may, and asking an advice
Mm-hmm.
because you are definitely have a lot of experience.
Mm-hmm.
So if I am a PhD degree from South Korea University and then
Mm-hmm.
I am working as a data scientist in Jungsogiop,
Mm-hmm. Small
SME.
medium enterprise, yeah.
Yeah, then if I can get the chance to like negotiate my salary, then how much do you think?
In Korea, it's usually never work
Ah,
negotiating
really?
salary,
Yeah,
right?
you usually change your place of work instead
Yeah,
of
you either
negotiating
like take
salary.
it or leave it because they have us like flat grades. For example,
Okay.
person come from the university, the person cannot ask for more than what
Oh,
other people will get, right?
okay.
Or if you get asked for more, you will be burned by the work and it will only increase like 10%. If you will
Ah,
be very good, then they will come to you and increase themselves, right? So what do you do after a year? Or maybe better after a couple of years when you switch your visa to like F2, right?
yep.
You will just find another job. Use the first, guys, this is a whole like advice. Do not use the first job to get salary. Use the
Mm,
first job for experience because this experience will give you more salary in future, right? So it doesn't really matter how much you earn the first 2 years, right? But after this, of course, you can earn way more, right? Use this as many as experiences. Sometimes people, oh, I have very bad work. They pay me little and they have a lot of work. It's good actually for person to have a lot of work in the beginning. That's how we learn, get used to work. And then you can ask for more. So basically like you need to change the job after 2 years and then of course your salary will increase. And
ah,
you can also use it as a bargaining chip, right?
Okay, so as I see the numbers here, from my perspective, is very high. So I'm surprised that that is the range. So is this like the real range?
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah,
It's not really like real. It's even like more like pessimistic scale.
I see.
well,
Okay.
actually, there's also deathkorea.com, and they recently posted an article about salaries in South Korea as well. So you can see like similar numbers also there.
Yeah.
So they developed the Korean IT sphere, and it's actually like almost the same. Of course, it depends if you work in a startup or in a large company like AQS. But anyways, this is just average numbers, and actually, usually it works.
Yeah.
Usually,
Yeah. It's usually
sometimes you
more,
get
but
overpaid,
again, your first job,
sometimes underpaid. Yeah,
your
the first job
first
is
job
more
is
just
okay.
for seeking like your experience, because even if they sponsor your visa, you should just take patience and learn everything you can in this year, and after 1 year you switch the job
Mhm. Okay.
to like much more
Okay, we
education.
have a little bit more
Thank you. Thank you
yeah,
for
yeah,
that. Thank
yeah.
you for
You
that.
can also text us.
Yes.
Aidana asking what we learn in the course in the video class. Okay, I will tell you briefly what the course. There's a 4 courses, right? One is a Java backend developer, so you learn how to work with a server, you learn how to write the backend and create API. So basically, you will be backend developer, right? There's also another course called Front-End Developer, the one that Alexey graduated. You will learn how to do HTML, CSS, front-end development, and the framework React. Oh, you can also work for another framework. This is what front-end developer does. You basically take the design, publishes design via code, and then connect it with the backend. That's a front-end developer, right? We also have a designer. It's not developer at all. It's a designer. It's very like creative job. When, for example, you've been told to do like something website in some this kind of style, and you need to produce it in Figma, right? And the fourth one is AI engineer, data science, that you will learn to work with AI, with the models, right? How to train the model, how to utilize the model, how the models can be measured, and so on, so on, right? There's 4 courses. All of them are mixed, individual and like group work, right? We going towards the group work, but right now, like design, front end, and back end are more like individual, and AI is more like a group work, right? So you will be studying on our online platform yourself, and then you will have a regular course with a mentor. Mentor would be also foreigner with a real experience in Korea, right? That's how our course is structured, right? Is it possible, Mimas asks, if it's possible to find a work in IT even before graduation? Before graduation is possible. Before our graduation, it's very possible because it's like upon the graduation, we don't give you any like visa or whatever, right? That's why it doesn't really matter. And some of the grades are founded before. But if you're asking about like university, it's also possible. And we would want to make you to find job before graduation, right? Through internship and so on, and then so you will be prepared. Because, for example, when everybody go on the market in February, it's like total mess, right? It's better to go earlier. Which is more convenient from it's yeah Nabin asking, it's not about convenience, it's more about suitability, right? And about what's you like, right? And how you can see the things. Some people want to be really kind of, like people who like working with data. They want to improve something that is already good, right? They like don't really go to the new things right away, right? That's more like a backend, right? You need to be a little bit perfectionist, right? And do it. For the front end, the person who wanna see the result right away, right? And very curious person in mind, because you wanna learn, you're gonna learn the whole your life, right? As well. And for designer, more creative person and who likes to see visual things. And for AI engineer, somebody who actually used to, for example, like to write a paper, right? That's actually for you guys, right? Or statistics. JJ asked what programming language should I focus on? Okay, maybe Alexey can comment what kind of general language
Yeah,
is kind of common.
it's pretty strange question because it depends on who you want to be. If you want to be front-end developer, you will surely learn JavaScript because you don't need to like know other languages. For backend, it's Java and Python. If you want to be like a backend developer, if you go to like game-related field or to the medical devices, etc. So it's C++ or C Sharp or C. So it really depends on what you want to do because sometimes you can be like a mobile developer and they use completely different frameworks for their job than I do. Even we know the front end development, if they do it on mobile phones and I do it in web browsers, we don't know anything about each other. So
Okay.
if
Yeah.
you tell about the sphere, it would be much easier to decide.
Okay, from Go for John, what competitive advantage of the Habsida learning method are especially like? Okay, I will tell you the way I tell to investors, right? So basically, there is no online bootcamp in Korea who teach in English, right? However, there is a lot of like YouTube, for example, right? Or let's say like Udemy or Coursera. Right, but on Coursera, Udemy is not really customized and it's very hard to learn because there's no control, right? We're gonna control you guys and make sure that you graduate, right? On the Coursera, the usual completion rate is less than 1%. In our case, it's more than 50%, right? Which is also not that big, but for the online courses, it's very big, right? Also, we will provide you some connections with the companies and we'll give you job preparation course as well by our PhD social science, Jenny Kim. She's gonna work with you and make sure after 6 months after you graduate our course to make sure you get a job. Yeah, this is like long story short. Hi, Mana Gretian ask, which program would you recommend to someone who don't have any experience or background in IT field? I think the easiest program is a front-end developer, right? And yeah, so but you can always switch. And I guess when you experience 3 years already or more, then you'll become full stack, right? You'll know a little bit front end, a little more
Yeah,
like back
you
end,
can easily
or
switch in the
yeah,
future. Not only you can start with backend and then switch to front end to full stack. So it's flexible here. But
yeah.
anyway, front end developer, for my opinion, it's much easier to enter the IT field with this one because you need to learn only one programming language and one framework, and actually it would be enough to find a job.
Okay. Sadiq asks that he is doing PhD in AI, good job, and he want to find a company where they have foreign, especially bioinformatics. Yeah, you can never find a specific company, right? And if, for example, they want to hire foreigner, they're gonna say, "Oh, we hire foreigner," right? No, you just apply for jobs, right? And that's how you find, of course. But if we will have it something specifically, right? We of course connect our grades to this first. JJ also asked what development tools and environment are commonly used. This Alexey can comment. I guess they're asking about like
It,
yeah,
it's kind of similar
ID.
about the previous question. So it really depends on which year do you choose. For front-end developers, it's React. Or mainly it's React because it's fine enough. Sometimes you can do something on Vue.js. For backend developers, it's Think. For Python, I don't know, PyCharm. I don't know Python frameworks, so it's pretty hard to say in advance because it really depends on the sphere. The designers use Figma and Photoshop, and that's enough. But for
You
developers,
as a front end developer, what do you use?
React, Next.js,
How
and
about ID? Which ID?
uh, what
Like
ID?
Xcode or whatever.
ID. No. VS Code is fine for me. Maybe WebStorm is good as well, but
Okay.
I just like the simplicity, so it's fine enough. If you know the language, the IDE won't like do much work for you here. You can develop in every sphere. It's just a small
Yeah.
help.
Yeah, we also recommend Geek. What's his company name? WebStorm. Geekbrains.
JetBrains.
JetBrains, yeah, JetBrains. We actually partners, so we give up the free software. Uh, okay, actually, I drop you guys in chat the link to our WhatsApp to our managers. You can claim your discount there if you like don't wanna be stuck in around for the rest of the call. But we're gonna continue to answer questions. Okay. Aidana ask if we help to find your job after the course and how you can create portfolio. And she's a university student by majors far from IT, was still able to find job. Okay, so Aidana, I will answer from the like last of your question. If you graduate in Korea any university, you can work in any universities or in any field. Doesn't really matter, right? And I guess more than like 80% of our graduates or students are very far from IT, right? That's actually what makes IT better. If they're in IT, like sometimes they also cannot code and they come to us, but most of them they code very well and they go directly to company, right? They don't need to study again, right? There's some people who used to do IT and now like they forget everything and they come to us as well. But most of them, they are not from IT. And yes, depends on the company, you will create a portfolio. Whether it's a GitHub repositories or like real portfolio on Behance for designers or like projects if using different AI models for AI engineers, you will have a portfolio. And that's actually the most important things, how people will look at you, right? They will look at your personality, they will look at you how you talk to people, if you can make a good teammate, and then they will look at the projects. If they ask you for interview, they really want to hire you, and if they see something similar in your project, they will probably do, right? Okay, and yes, we constantly help it. As I said, up to 6 months it usually takes. Some people takes 1 month, some people takes 2 weeks. For example, for Alexey, it took him maybe, I don't know, 2 months, right?
Yeah, right. But it was pretty hard because I had visa limitations.
Yeah, he
So
was F1 visa, right?
yeah,
Non-working visa, but he managed to switch it. Okay, yeah, this so like we try to get help, and we actually do more events, and we also this year will do our own job fair as well. Yeah. When ask me, hi, I would like to ask currently, okay, for those who have E9 visa, we're not really immigration officer, so we don't really know exactly, but if you can actually switch it to E7, then you can work anywhere, right? So like try to switch it to E7, but we have a lot of people on E9 who study. So like consider us not necessarily as a opportunity to switch your visa, but opportunity to learn some new skill that can be applicable anywhere, because a handful of our students actually work overseas. Some guy from Malaysia, he studied here and then he went back to home and work now, as well as one guy from Nepal also go back home because he wanted to go back home and he works in Nepal. Okay. PyCharm yeah, also can do, yeah. It's for example, if you do, of course, Python, right? Okay, guys. I guess if you don't have any more questions, we would like. Do you have any like? If you want to sign up for course now, I will drop again you the WhatsApp chat, right? And there's a manager waiting, and then you can actually text at any point of time, right? Oh, if you have more question from Anish. I'm currently studying master in management in Korea. I have bachelor degree in computer science from my home country. Yes, you can work. You can work in IT for sure. Yes.
And could you please inform us about business perspective? So you are a foreigner in Korea, and
Yeah.
I had know about business like organization like Habsida that operating teaching to foreigners. So
Yeah.
it's quite interesting for me. How did you manage legal things, visas, and as well as business operations?
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I'll tell you. I'll tell you. It's like not really related to coding, but I'll tell you from my personal experience, right? So basically, I used to do investment banking in St. Petersburg and in Finland, Helsinki, 5 years, and then I came here to do my MBA, and I was full of hopes and I continued doing investment career, right? But then I realized that like, whoa, nobody want to hire me here because I don't have network, I don't speak Korean perfectly, and I also like don't understand the local laws and because I actually got very good education and everybody says, oh, globalization, everywhere is similar, but then I realize even accounting is different. Laws are very different, right? What can I do? So my experience is kind of like a very limited to where I am from, right? That's why I tried to switch and I switched to startups, right? I work as an advisor, I work as a head of sales for a big company, I work in accelerators, and then I decided make my own company. And I would say, even though it sounds like scary for the foreigner to work to make company in a totally different culture, right? Uh, Still business applies here, right? Like you can learn like let's say this book, the lean startups, right? And you can apply it for because I actually invested only 3 million Korean won in the company. Our official investment, 3 million Korean won. And we managed to build the company through hard work, and now we're like 20 employees. And I'm not gonna say you how much money we make, but not enough, I think. But we actually developing our own like AI, also mentor as well. So everything possible if we work hard. But I don't think I work that hard because I should have worked harder, right? But still, like we manage what we get, and there's no prejudice against foreign. There's a prejudice, but you just need to close the eyes and still do it. Still do it. But it helped me a little bit because we work with foreigners, so they understand that I should be foreigners work with foreigners, but doesn't really matter. And actually, I didn't get any investment so far, right? But we get a lot of government funds as well. So like, yeah, it's possible, very much possible. It's hard, but possible. Okay, yeah, thank you for question. Yeah, it's kind of interesting to answer this kind of question. Okie dokie. Okay, okay. Thank you. So I want to ask programming language. What do you Korea? Okay, Java, Python. Yeah, Python not used in Korea. Other than AI, right? If Python, you should go AI, right? Java used very commonly. JavaScript also commonly. TypeScript not that much. C++ widely used. Right. Okay, don't you like try applying in Europe? Yeah, Europe. Yeah, you're already discussing it. Yeah, between each other. But one of our graduates actually been hired in Europe, and he moved to Netherlands. Actually, it was higher pay, but he now has less money because it's so expensive there, and the flat's so expensive. So I'm not sure about this. Okay, dokie, go for John. Or did you gather 2 members? Yeah, I gather like through like uh, through my connections, I guess. Yeah. I don't get any investment, but I get some from government funds. Amir want to learn AI? Yeah, please go here and ask that you are from the webinar. You can actually use the code webinar, and then they will give you a discount, and you can start studying to be in the position. And maybe one day while you graduate, Alexey will hire you, right?
Yeah, I already reviewed.
Oh, really? Okay, nice.
Yeah, I already reviewed one of the graduators in my company when we were speaking.
Okay, candidates, right? Okay, okay.
So probably we can easily match.
Okay, okay, okay. Do you take bribes for like getting placed in your company? Okay, you don't need to answer. Mm. Okay, guys. If that's it, I wish you all good luck. Whether you wanna, I see that you're interested in IT and really like it. If you wanna go with us in your difficult path to learn IT, we will be more than welcome. Even if you don't go with us, we still wish you good luck, and we hope that will be more and more international foreign developers or like designers here in Korea, right? And yeah, wish you good luck. And actually, we are in a good place because there's more and more jobs, and there's less and less people, and there's actually government this day, because I've been doing it for a while, and I see that governments want to make foreigners more adjustable, right? How say integrated in the Korean society. And about my vision and mission, I would think that a lot of education should go through how we teach it through practice, right? It's been in university, I think sometimes it's more academical, it's not practical, right? And I wish that everything learns through practice, and that's what we want to build, even though we are still a small company. Thank you, guys, and let's give a round of applause as well, like mentally, to Alexey, who take his
Thanks
time
for
off
listening, guys.
Saturday. Yeah,
Wish
thank you
you
very
all good
much,
luck.
Alexey. Yeah, I owe him already 2 dinners, so let's make it happen.
Okay.
Violeta is also our student, I think. Okay, guys, see you.
Good luck.
Nice to meet
See
you,
you.
and please join.
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah, sure.
Excuse me, sir. I do have a question.
Thank you so much, sir. This webinar is going very well. So my question is that I want to start my AI course. I want to learn, but I don't know how to start my AI career.
Yeah, you just need to learn AI first, and then maybe like 2 or 3 months before you graduated, you can start attending the events that we do it for graduates, right? And then we will be introduced to our Jenny Kim, right? And then she will explain everything. But long story short, you will be just working on your portfolio, on your CV, then you apply a bunch of, you go to a bunch of events, you apply for a bunch of positions, and you'll get a job.
Sir, can you share me this criteria course on my WhatsApp?
Criteria, you mean curriculum?
Yeah, yes, yes, sir.
Yeah. If you can click this link and
Yeah,
ask, you will be given. And also there's a whole curriculum on our website. I'll also drop it in chat, okay?
thank you so much, sir.
Okay, no problem. And also I think Bipin was asking some question, right?
Sir, my question is after learning a particular course, maybe front end, back end, AI,
Yep.
how about our own startup, like in our country?
Yeah, you can do startup, but to be completely honest, you don't need to know anything to do startup. You just need to find an item and test it and try to do it. But if you want to do your own startup, I guess don't do Java. It's kind of like, why would you do Java and no front end? You do front end, yeah. Then you can yourself you can build something already to test out.
Yeah, and the last from the first beginning of this meeting, I'm listening. So I heard about Java, like Korean peoples love Java because
Yeah,
it's
they love.
been many
They,
years,
they,
and
they actually hate it, but they still use it. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
But so, what about the front end
Front-end
market, job
JavaScript is
market,
by
and
far JavaScript by far the most I mean, there's only one, and as for the like framework, it's React. Angular is like not existent almost. There's some Next, right? Alexey,
Yeah,
there's
yeah. But next is like kind of React, so they're basically
yeah,
the
they're very
same.
similar. Yeah, there's actually TypeScript. Some of
Angular is
TypeScripts, yeah, can also
yeah.
start. Yeah, I mean like
Anyway,
1%.
Angular is not that popular here.
Yeah, Angular not popular. Yeah. For
yeah,
example,
can
in
we
Uzbekistan, Angular is very popular in Kyrgyzstan, but like here is like nobody uses it.
can we start like front end course, and after landing, we can learn back end also and become a
Yeah,
full
sure.
stack.
Yes, sure. In our front-end course, we have a 2 months additional module, which is called Node.js, and then you can it's actually a framework based on the JavaScript that is used for backend development, and that's what that's what you study and become a full-time.
Yeah, as AI is growing, and is it really good to learn start with
Yeah, I
front
would say
end?
I would explain this way. AI will substitute a lot of people, right? But there's
Yeah.
also so many companies that have not only AI, they cannot like set up a printer, right? Okay, AK, you want to ask some oh, make us question again. No, of course, ask. Go for John. Where are you from? Are you from Kyrgyzstan?
I'm from Uzbekistan.
Uzbekistan, nice.
And my question is about, again, business perspective. Like, one question is why you didn't get funds from investors, only
Uh-huh.
government funds?
Uh-huh.
So, do you have plan, or did you
Okay.
face any kind of
When
problem?
when we just started, investors wouldn't give us money. They say like, oh, it's very small market, and you need to come to us when you reach certain milestones in revenue, right? After we come to them and say, oh, you already like overpress our like you have already good revenue and you live in your own. So invest always hard, right? But we're trying still. Yeah, it's not like I guess this year or next year we'll try to get Series A or pre-Series A. We'll see. But also it also comes down with a lot of control additional, right, and less flexibility, which is good and bad things. But for government funds, it's free, so that's good.
Yeah. And one more thing is, how's your technical background? So you graduate MBA, I
Yeah,
mean business
MBA. I learned.
management things.
Yeah,
So you are a founder of the
I'm a
Habsida,
founder.
and
Yeah.
yeah, did you are facing like are you facing some problems that you don't know because of technical side or management side?
No, business is more about the business processes and clients and how you deal with this. It's less technical that somebody might think, right? But I also have a co-founder's technical skills.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Maybe you are welcome to suggest or like giving advices
Yeah, of course.
that you have.
Always. I always like to do it. Yeah. Entrepreneurship is not easy. Yeah. I guess if somebody will ask me what to do 5 years ago, I would just learn AI and just be AI or more money without stress.
You mean
Fine, we'll see. We'll see how
not
it goes.
like entrepreneurship, right?
We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. So far, so good. So far, so good. I won't complain.
Yeah, what I'm saying is like most of failure cases because founder don't know like technical side. Maybe vice versa, like founder is like technical guy.
Yeah,
He doesn't know business side.
you will find your own mistakes. Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, we always fall it. But if you really interesting, just learn this book, The Lean Startups, and you can work. You can do it. It's a good methodology.
Mhm. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
have,
guys. Oh, sure,
I
sure.
have one more question.
Yeah.
So by the end of the course, we'll get a certificate.
Yeah.
What kind of certificate
Okay.
and how other companies will recognize as like there are many masters and bachelors students. Yeah, then how our certificate gonna because that is the first impression, right? So how our
Yeah,
certificate will
actually,
stand?
that's actually a very good question, right? We actually hug one, online hug one. It means online additional education, right? And we give certificate as such. It's additional education, so it's not bachelor, it's not a master, right?
Yes,
So you
yes,
cannot
yes.
change visa, but it's recognized officially, right? And you even can get a refund. If you pay to us, you can get a refund, not refund, tax refund in the end of the year, right? That's also good things. But companies, I wouldn't say that companies will say, "Oh, you're from Habsida, here's my money." No, I guess we've not reached that level yet. We hope someday. We hope someday. But we try to spread the word around, and people get started to get recognized about us. But still, like I guess the companies more will look at your personality and on your projects and portfolio. Okay, I share the book with you guys, and okay, thank you guys. It was very interesting, a lot of different questions, and I hope that you like it.